Welcome to the Cinema Australia podcast with Matthew Eales.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Cinema Australia podcast. It's great to have you with us. In this episode, I'm joined by actor Teresa Palmer and director Marcelle Lunam to discuss their new rom-com Addition. Addition follows Grace, played by Palmer, a woman who counts everything because numbers hold her world together. But when a chance encounter with Seamus, played by Joe Dempsie, turns her world upside down, her meticulously ordered life starts to unravel. Having appeared in numerous films and TV shows since the early 2000s, Teresa really needs no introduction. But if you're unfamiliar with her work, she has appeared in films such as 237, Kieran Darcy-Smith's Wish You Were Here, Warm Bodies opposite Nicholas Hoult, Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge, and Rachel Griffith's Ride Like a Girl, in which she played Melbourne Cup-winning jockey Payne. Teresa's TV credits include The Family Next Door, The Clearing and Mixtape. Addition is the first narrative feature film for Marcelle Lunam, having previously directed the documentary Abana Shakes and the music video Justine Clark, I Like to Shake. Marcelle's work here is quite impressive for a first-timer. Before we jump into the interviews, I want to mention a few things. These two interviews are much shorter than regular listeners will be used to. They were recorded as part of a press junket, and for those of you who aren't familiar with press junkets, basically we sit in a waiting room waiting for our 7 minutes with the guests. We're not allowed to run a second over, and if we do, we're cut off immediately. While my interview with Teresa runs smoothly, you'll notice my interview with Marcelle ends abruptly. Not my preferred method for interviews, but these were fun nonetheless. Addition is in cinemas now. Anyway, enjoy.
G'day.
Hey Teresa, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Really good. Congratulations on this film.
Thank you.
I guess I want to start with a cliche question here. How did your involvement in this one come about?
Through my very good friend, Bruna Papandrea. She has been my homie forever. We both grew up in Adelaide, and she actually put me in one of my first big movies in America called Warm Bodies.
Yes. And
since then, we've continued working with each other. So she sent it my way, and before I even read the script, I was like, yes, and more yes. We're working together again.
It must be amazing to have a friend like that within the industry to help out like that.
Especially someone so prolific. And she's just always been in my corner. She tells other people to hire me. She got me the job on Last Anniversary with John Paulson. And she's such a legend, and she's still so Adelaide. I love her. Yes. Like, we've both got that Adelaide sentiment. And, she, it's just a really beautiful feeling. And I'm really happy for all her success, and also grateful to her that she's bringing me along with her.
Yes. Your character, Grace, in addition, has a form of OCD. How did you and this creative team ensure sensitivity towards this disorder throughout the development of this character?
Well, we had a lot of experts, mental health experts, help shape the script and guide us, and that was imperative. It was really important to make sure that we treat this subject matter with the sensitivity that it deserves. I did a lot of my own research as well, aside from talking to a lot of friends, because anxiety is all around me. I have a lot of friends with anxiety, and I would listen to their stories, and I'd pull inspiration from different stories. And then I would also listen to this woman on YouTube who was documenting her journey with anxiety and OCD, and she was a counter. So she would count the same way my character counts in Addition. And it was fascinating hearing her talk about it so openly and vulnerably, but also just gave me the insight that I needed.
I'm not sure how accurate I am in this observation, but did I notice that even when your character wasn't counting verbally or physically in a scene, you were still expressing this via this physical compulsion? It's something that I picked up on during some of the more dramatic dialogue scenes in the film. Am I correct there?
Yes. So I wanted it to feel like there was a lid on top of these feelings. And it was like the kettle boiling and it would explode out in these little ways. And so there are moments peppered throughout the entire movie where these little quirks would come out, whether it's a mannerism or some facial thing, whatever it was, something she does with her hands or her legs or but it's so subtle though. I'm really grateful to hear that you noticed it, because I feel like I'm the only one who notices it. And now to hear that you actually did, I was like, thank you. That's one of the layers of the performance. I appreciate you.
Is that something that you worked on with the director to develop, or was that all your own?
No, that sort of stuff was my own. And I even use some of my own kind of quirks in the way that I use my body. I've sort of morphed a version of myself into these in-between moments. I naturally, who I am, I'm very playful, and I have a bunch of kids and I'm like one big kid, but I wanted Grace to feel like wild and playful and kind of all over the place and silly. And I think people would describe me like that, all over the place and silly and playful. And so you always end up doing a version of yourself. And then on top of that, we folded all the anxiety stuff in, which I'm less familiar with.
Addition is the first narrative feature film for both director and writer here. As an established actor who's worked in the industry for many years, how exciting is it for you to work with people who are relatively new to the industry like these two?
I mean, it's epic. I think one of my favorite things was working with Marcelle and knowing that this was a debut of hers. It was so exciting because it's almost like you're dating someone again for the first time, and you're like, how do you work? What works for you? What works for me? And we were learning from each other, and it was so remarkable during the process getting to watch her. And she's a true artist. This woman she's got her finger on the pulse. Like culturally, she's so in the know, way more than I am. And just like her style and the music and the European cinema she was looking for, it was so cool. I am a cooler human being after hanging out with Marcelle, making this movie with her.
That's fantastic. And what a personality she is as well. I'm sure that it was a great addition to this film. Speaking of newcomers, you also play opposite a few young actors here, including Grace's students and her niece. Having worked with so many young actors lately across film and television, are you noticing a difference in how young talent approaches their work compared to when you started out?
Yeah, I do notice a difference, and I also think it is so refreshing. And sometimes I wish I could unlearn all my habits and just be totally fresh and new again and just purely on instinct. Because oftentimes I think you'll like fall back on your way of like figuring out a scene. But these people are so brand new that they're just like fumbling and trying, and it's so beautiful to watch on camera. I just find it captivating. And I like to take on some of that energy myself, the newness energy. And it's exciting and also very nostalgic to think about those early days of being in the industry and having no idea what to do. I still look back on my very first movie, 237, which premiered at Cannes, and my character's like sobbing, crying. And I remember reading a review like, oh, Teresa just really went there for that role. And I was like, no, I didn't. I just screwed my face up and someone blew the tear stick in my eyes, and it had menthol in it, and my eyes started crying, and I just had to screw my face up and scream. And everyone's like, wow, I really felt the performance. And I'm just laughing because I had no idea what I was doing. Now I can reach those levels. Back then I had no idea.
Well, you've certainly grown as an actor, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch your career grow over the years. You've got so much going on at the moment, and you've had so much coming out lately. You seem to be having a real blast at the moment. So congratulations on this film, and wishing you all the best for the future.
Oh, I so appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're listening to the Cinema Australia podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or at cinemaaustralia.com.au.
Hi, Marcelle. How's it going?
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
Congratulations on the film. I caught it over the weekend, and I was really impressed with this one. Edition is written by Becca Johnson and based on a novel by Toni Jordan. At what stage did you come on board the film?
I was asked to read the script, Becca's first draft in 2018, I think it was. Yeah. So first draft adaptation, and we developed it from then.
So at what capacity did you assist in the development of the film as far as the script goes?
I fit in a lot. We worked a lot together, Becca and I, and, the whole team, Jean Snow from Made Up Stories, Christina Pazan, everybody fit in really, so we would have a writer's room, to take it through the successive drafts. So we worked very, in unison together. I mean, obviously Becca was the writer, but we were all, involved in the development of it. Yeah.
Is that an enjoyable part of this process for you, to be involved in that writing stage of the script?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like bringing characters to life and, adding the nuance and going through back and forward through the script again and again, making sure that you have the story arcs and the characters are there and everything that needs to be said. Yeah, it's really enjoyable.
So with so many people involved, at what point do you know that this is the script, this is ready to go?
Well, I mean, it's not like everybody's involved the whole way along, It's like they're feeding into a draft and they'll give notes, for example, and then it goes back to Becca and Becca's, writing. So Becca's the writer, but of course everybody, has there's tweaking and then fine tuning. So, I mean, I think when the script becomes undeniable, it's like when it makes, utter sense on the page, I suppose. And everybody in the group was felt, okay, it's ready.
I've seen some behind the scenes footage, and I'd noticed that Toni was involved in the making of the film, in that she was on set. Did she spend much time on set?
Yeah, Toni was there a bit. I mean, Toni mainly sort of observed things, She was it was great to have Toni around. Toni was incredibly generous and very supportive of the film. And the film is obviously an adaptation, and it's a different thing. It's a different beast to the book. But Toni came on with a lot of love, and as I say, an incredibly magnanimous spirit, and was very supportive of it. So it was actually fantastic to have Toni around. In fact, Toni's in the film.
Really? I didn't notice.
Yeah, she's in the cafe scene. She does a cameo, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. I was going to ask if it's a positive or negative to have the author on set, but it sounds like it was a positive experience for you.
Oh, it's great. It was great. It couldn't have been, it was fun. We had a fun time making the film. Yeah, it was really fun.
The film is described as a rom-com, but it's so much more than that in terms of the personal development of Grace. How would you best describe the film? Because I think rom-com is a bit of a disservice to the film.
Well, I kind of probably call it more a psychological romantic dramedy.
Yes.
That's how I would term it, I mean, it's got a lovely and quite a delicious sort of romantic string through it all. It's quite sizzly, with Joe and Teresa, which is, gorgeous. But it also has a lot of depth to it in terms of Grace traversing what is a tricky time in her life and working out how to manage her mental health journey, which I think is the main crux of the film. And interestingly, a lot of people that have fed back on the film have said that is the part of the film they really relate to, and it really resonates with them, and it's very moving. But it's also funny and sweet, so the aim was to make a feel-good movie that, that doesn't shy away from things that are tricky, but that it generally isn't, it's not homework, right?
No, that's right.
I think it's charming.
Talk to us a bit about working with Teresa to develop this character and some of her more obvious compulsions.
Well, we had a consultant, Francesca, who was an OCD survivor who I had met in New Zealand, and she was really brilliant. We had a couple of Zoom sessions with her, and she'd also fed into the script, so that was useful. Teresa did a lot of behind the scenes work and research on it. So we had a lot of Zoom meetings before pre-production, and Teresa really threw herself into the role. And I think that's evident from her performance, because her performance is really outstanding.
So good.
It is good. I mean, she's so completely believable. So, and we looked at all kinds of things, not just kind of the mental health thing or anxiety, but also things like there's this fantastic woman mathematician on YouTube that is doing all this, like, what are they, like algorithms about love, etc. We kind of looked into all that. We found out, I did a bunch of research on OCD as well, obviously, years of research on it, and that sort of fed into it. We also had Miranda Harcourt come over for a couple of days, sort of dramaturgy and rehearsals with the whole group before we went into the shoot. And that was really much needed, because Teresa's in every scene of the film, which is a big load, it's a big load for her to carry. And you don't forget, Teresa's got at the time 5 kids and
that's right,
everything else. So it's an enormous load. So we had a bit of rehearsal time there, and that was great because we were really able to dig in and try things and do a lot of ad-libbing and, just try things on the side before we went into the character, particularly around things like how Teresa would count, what that meant for her, just the style of her diction, all of those things. We were really quite particular.
Marcelle, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you, and congratulations on this film. I wish it all the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing your career grow as we go forward.
Thank you. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks for listening. Find all the latest Australian film news at cinemaaustralia.com.au. You can follow Cinema Australia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and TikTok.